The Amazon River is not a river. It is an inland ocean that happens to be moving. 1/5 of all the fresh water on Earth's surface. More discharge per second than the next 7 largest rivers combined. It drains a basin the size of the contiguous United States, and nobody planned any of it. The Amazon used to flow the other direction. The Andes pushed up, blocked it, the whole system reversed. It is a geological accident that became the lungs of the planet. So, what happens if you drain it? Not metaphorically, completely, every drop. First, the numbers you need to hold in your head. The river moves 200,000 cubic meters of water every second. That is, every second, enough water to fill 30 Olympic pools. Now imagine that stops. Hour 1. The mouth of the river goes quiet first. The Atlantic plume, that brown stain you can see from space, vanishes. Marigot Island, the size of Switzerland, is suddenly just a hill. The river is up to 300 feet deep in places. As the water drops, the floor appears. Nobody has seen this floor since the Miocene epoch. The sediment down there is ancient. Compressed plant matter, shells, old ocean floor, a fossil library. The fish, though. Let's talk about the fish. 3,000 species, more than the entire Atlantic Ocean. Gone. Pink river dolphins. Arapaima. The electric eel. All of them. The arapaima is basically a living fossil, 4 meters of prehistoric muscle. It breathes air. It could have survived a dry Amazon, briefly. Not that it matters. The floodplain is what really dies. The Varzea, the seasonally flooded forest, is its own ecosystem. Trees that fruit underwater, fish that eat the fruit, birds that eat the fish. An entire food web built on water that is temporarily borrowing the forest floor. Drain the river and the web has no center. By day 3, the exposed basin floor starts doing something unexpected. It starts releasing carbon. The wet sediment is a carbon bank. Expose it to air. It unlocks. Millennia of stored organic matter oxidizing at once. Now let's talk about what happens above the river. The Amazon creates its own weather. Not just responds to weather, makes it. The trees release 20 billion tons of water vapor every single day. That's called transpiration. The forest is sweating. This vapor forms flying rivers, aerial streams of moisture hundreds of kilometers wide. They water the farms of southern Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. Without the river, those flying rivers don't form. Soybean yields in Brazil drop, then corn, then everything. Brazil is the world's largest soy exporter, so draining the Amazon eventually hits grocery stores, globally. But we haven't hit the weird part yet. The ocean. The Amazon dumps so much fresh water into the Atlantic that it desalinates a region the size of France. That low salinity surface layer affects ocean circulation. Circulation that ultimately drives the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream keeps Western Europe warm. London is at the same latitude as Calgary. Without the Amazon's freshwater contribution, eventually Europe gets colder. A river in South America, a cold snap in London. Same machine. Now let's go back to the basin. Day 10. The basin floor is now the largest exposed wetland on Earth. Drying. The exposed channels reveal something extraordinary. Paleochannels, ancient river paths that predate the current system. The basin is a palimpsest written over and over by water. Now, the forest. The rainforest does not just sit beside the river. It is the river. Half the rain that falls on the Amazon forest was already in the Amazon forest. A raindrop can be rained down 5 or 6 times before it reaches the ocean. Drain the river, you break the recycling loop. The forest dries from the inside out. Week 2. The eastern Amazon begins to die. This is not a metaphor. There is a real measurable Amazon tipping point. Scientists estimate we are currently about 15% from it. This thought experiment is not entirely hypothetical. Back to the drained basin. Month 1. Without water, the soil profile of the basin collapses. The basin is lower than sea level in places. That means if you drain the river, the Atlantic wants in. Not immediately. There are natural barriers. But eventually, the Amazon basin becomes an inland sea. This has actually happened before. The Amazon was an inland sea around 15 million years ago. That's why Amazon river dolphins exist. They are ocean dolphins that got marooned when the basin drained and a river formed. They adapted, turned pink, grew sonar so good they navigate flooded forests. Nobody told the dolphin what it was supposed to become. It just kept going. This is the whole story of the Amazon, actually. Mountains push up, a river reverses, an ocean gets stranded, a forest invades a basin. Nothing was designed. Everything was accidental. And the result is the most biodiverse region on Earth. 10% of all species on Earth live there. 1 in 10 of every living thing on the planet traces back to that one accidental basin. Let's zoom back to the drained scenario. Month 3. The dust starts. The Amazon basin, when wet, is one of the least dusty regions on Earth. Dry it out, and you get a dust bowl the size of a continent. That dust travels. The Sahara Desert sends dust to the Amazon right now, every year. It fertilizes the Amazon. The desert feeds the jungle. Another accidental partnership holding the whole thing together. A dried Amazon reverses this. Now it exports dust to the Sahara. You have now disrupted the largest nutrient cycle on the planet. By year 1, the Amazon basin is unrecognizable. A cracked gray plain, scattered bleached tree skeletons, wind, and silence where the loudest biological system on the planet used to be. The Amazon is the loudest place on Earth, or one of them. A healthy hectare of Amazon rainforest contains more acoustic information per minute than a city. Species use sound to navigate, to claim territory, to find mates, drain the river. Within a year, they cannot. Here is what this is really about. The Amazon works because nothing planned it. A mountain range pushed up by plate tectonics millions of years ago. A river that was forced to find a new exit. A basin that happened to be exactly the right shape and size. Ocean dolphins that got stranded and became forest navigators. Saharan dust feeding a jungle, 5,000 kilometers away. And the whole assembly regulating climate on a planet that had no idea it needed regulating. Every piece of this is an accident that locked into the next accident. You can't drain just the river. You drain everything downstream of every accident. The Amazon is not a place. It is a process, and it has been running for 20 million years. 20 million years of accidental cooperation. And we are currently running the real version of this thought experiment. Slowly. No dramatic drain plug, just 1,000 small cuts. Same result, same chain reaction, just slower. The pink river dolphin is still out there, navigating a flooded forest it was never supposed to live in, doing fine. If you liked this, subscribe. We have more accidental machines to take apart.